Hey everyone, I'm back with another video. Today I'll be doing sort of an unboxing. It's not necessarily a knife, but it is something to modify a knife. So let me open this up and we will see what's in this package. We can check it out together. Alright, so dump out everything. There's nothing else in there. Okay, so everything is from Flytanium. This is a pivot tool. I'll show you all that in a second. We have a Micarta backspacer. You can see that right there. And then we have the scales. And all of these are for my mini Bugout. Open these up if I can. Oh, that's not a zipper, sorry. All right, let's get this opened. All right, so here's the Micarta scales. Both of these, they're kind of a hard, they have a little flex, but they're pretty stout feeling. So there's each of those scales, and then they do throw in a sticker as well. Let's see, Flytanium, kind of a retro look. And here is the back spacer. Get that to come out. This is another kind of a harder piece with these two screw holes on both sides. So obviously that'll fit in between the back of it. Then finally, in the box, we have the Flytanium Benchmade pivot tool. So that's going to be a T8 probably. I would assume it was a T8. So that is the pivot tool. That's going to be very helpful in putting this all together. Move all this trash out of the way. So I'll be doing it on my mini Bugout in the seafoam handles. So I'll keep the black hardware and this tungsten Cerakote blade. And then it will just have Micarta handles on it. So that'll be really different, really cool. Looks like they're going to be about the same width, probably the same weight at the end of this. In grams, the mini Bugout is 46 grams. Actually, let me zero that and make sure. 44 grams on the mini Bugout. And then in ounces, it is 1.5 ounces. So I'll weigh this after I get done putting these together. But in this video, I do want to show y'all the entire process of breaking down this knife and voiding my warranty on it instantly when I start modifying it. And then I'll show y'all the weight at the end, see how much of a difference it is. But let's get into it. I want to do this all together with y'all and just show y'all kind of the process. I won't show y'all taking out the screws, of course, because that's just, you know, that's boring stuff. But I will show y'all the rest of it. Kind of blends in with my mat. There's the pivot tool, there's backspacer. Move all that to the side. I'll keep the sticker there. How about that? But what you'll need completely for this is, of course, this, which is the pivot tool. You will need a bottle of the blue Loctite, not anything else but the blue, because the blue is removable. And then what else do you need? It might help if you have bigger fingers, if you have like a tweezers or something. And then I will be using the blue box kit so I can get the T6 screws as well. Should have had this already out. But yes, there's the one for the Benchmade one. There's T6. And then I'll grab the T8 anyways, just in case I need it. So that's what you need for this build. I'll get these screws undone and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the pivot tool. This is the pivot screw right there. And then all of these are these itty bitty T6, just very small screws that keep in this one right there, there, and then down here. And then I did take off the pocket clip first. So I'm gonna move these all to the right side over here. Don't want these getting mixed up with anything. And then I will take off this front. I probably should open up the knife first. And then this should just kind of fall off. Just like that. That is one scale removed from the Benchmade. Put that there. And then you can kind of see a cross section of the Benchmade Bugout. There is the Omega spring for the axis lock. You can see it wraps around that bar here. And then you can see it's completely covered on that side. But this is what Benchmade gets hate on the Bugout. This is the only liner on the whole knife. These plastic scales are just FRN, fiberglass reinforced scales. They're just kind of cheap. They're flexible. That's why people don't particularly like the Bugout. But even though they are plastic, they are very well built anyways. So this is very interesting to see it kind of broken down like this. I'm going to clean this up and I'll be right back after I clean this up. Alright, so I got this cleaned up right there. I got this first set of scales for the right side of the knife. I'm going to sit it right on top of this spacer on these barrel spacers in the back. Let's see, they should fit perfect. So they're in there. And then I need to put these on top. If I do it like this first, how about that? All right, so it does kind of just click in. You can see where that liner in there doesn't want to meet up completely. Might just see if I can get a different blade and throw it in there and see if I can pop it in place. I got my other mini Bugout, which might help. See? Okay, yeah. I just have to wiggle it back in place. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do these itty bitty screws in first, just so I can get the knife together. I do need to put the this spacer in there, but I'll do that. I guess I should have went ahead and did that. So I'll go ahead and pop this back off and just swap this over and completely undo these barrel spacers. I think that might be the easier thing to do with the T6. Just go ahead and take out the barrel spacers completely, and then I just don't have to worry about it anymore. And they don't want to come out. Don't want to strip that. These got a nice set of Loctite on them. I think they're just rotating with me. So I might just have to do it after the fact, after I get these put back together. So I'll try doing that. I know this is a boring video, but I did want to be kind of transparent and show y'all process because it is it's different, you know, having to, you know, modifying a Benchmade. It seems kind of sacrilegious in the eyes of Benchmade. You don't want to screw with their knives. They're very strict with that. And these don't want to seem to go on there either. Let's see if I can just put this on there. Okay, I'm gonna do these. I'll be right back. All right, so here is one scale done. You can see that it is a little thicker than the Grivory handles. Not by much, but, well, what do y'all think? I think they're practically the same. The end to end. Part is a little thicker than the Grivory, I'd say. So that's one scale done. I think this is gonna look pretty cool with that tungsten gray blade. So I'll flip this over, and here's a normal one. This one's warranty friendly. This one is not. So I'll get this scale undone as well, and I'll have to push this pivot out, which is kind of the scary part, but that's what this tool is for. So I'll get these undone, and I'll be right back again. All right, so here is the other scale. You can see how badly the blade centering is since I don't have the pivot in there. But that is what that pivot tool is going to be used for, to make sure that it's nice and centered. I'm going to open this back up anyways and pop these bottom scales off. I think I have to actually just push this all the way through. Hold on, I'm thinking, because that doesn't go like that. Okay, hold on, I gotta figure this out. All right, so I got the blade out. This is weird to look at, isn't it? You can see that S30 right there through under the Cerakote. You can see kind of like the lip of the Cerakote right there. Pretty weird to see just the blade by itself. But I did get the other scale out, and it was a pain in the butt because this pivot didn't want to come out. So I had to compromise and just, you know, work around it. But now I got two scales, I got a blade, and these are the barrel spacers that were in the back of the knife that will be replaced with this. And then I will have to, here is the main component of the knife. This is where the axis lock is. I gotta clean this one up as well, but this is gonna be, I think I've made more work for myself. So we will see how this goes. I will clean this up. I want to get these bronze washers out of there as well and clean those up. So hold on one second, I'll be right back again. Well, I've made a lot of work for myself. I completely tore this Bugout to its bare bones, and I mean that literally. You have just the individual scales. You have, this is the axis lock, just this tiny, tiny little thin piece of metal on this little bar. Here's the other side of it. It loops around right there on that, feeds in over here. Then you have these bronze washers. You got two of those. Here's the pivot. These are all the different screws. This is the blade stop that you put on the back of the knife. So And then here are the liners. Just this tiny little piece of metal is the liner. And that's where the bronze washers sit, just right on that. You can see where it's kind of scuffed on that side. That's where the washers sit. So that's a good indication of where they'll need to be. And of course you have the blade. Just this tiny, tiny little blade. I've got my work cut out for me. Wasn't intending on completely disassembling it, but I wanted to clean each of the individual components, kind of bring it back to factory standards, just to see. My curiosity got the better of me. That's all I can say. So, I'll be back, and we will get this back together.